That's right. Good morning. We are fortunate to have a variety of speakers for Sunday services. By using guest speakers, we gain wisdom from all those who share. This is a church where you can worship the God of your own understanding, a place to experience joy and be uplifted, a place where we can gain strength and inspiration to share with all we meet throughout the week. We invite you to join us in this celebration of life, to nourish your spirit, and to enjoy the company of kindred souls.
Thank you. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lake Superior Interfaith Community Church. Let us welcome each other with some highs, hellos, hugs, how are yous. Welcome, everybody. Stand up and greet. Yep. Yep. Oh, I was just going to take it off. Whatever. Okay. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us start with our opening hymn. We're going to sing Let There Be Peace on Earth, and the words are on the white card. Drake, would you like to do our invocation for us?
Well, oh. Welcome. Thank you for having us here today. It's such a pleasure for us to be here. You know, right off the bat, I just want to point to the relationship between light and love. Love is light and light is love. Isn't that amazing? Love is light and light is love. And I want to express to you that love comes from the heart and so does light. We shine from both the heart and from our face. So just be aware that when you're shining, that you make a difference in the world. And this shining is what we're all here for, right here and now. Being that peace that we radiate from inside out, rather than expecting it to come from outside in.
All right, at this time, we're going to sing Morning Has Broken, number 6 in Wings of Song. All right. Welcome, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sue Brewer. I'm the president of the Board of Trustees this year, and I want to make sure everyone is happy here. Anyway, I'd like to introduce our speaker. Our speaker is Drake Powe. He has over 35 years of experience working and supporting personal growth amidst life changes. And his topic is becoming a bridge, not a wall, unlocking the grudges that keep us trapped. And if you want to, he also has a lovely YouTube page. You got to check out his YouTube stuff because it's just out of this world. And we're going to find out all about that in a few minutes. All right, so a couple of announcements here. First of all, coming up very shortly, within about a month, we're having our Valentine's dinner. So Debbie here has some forms that we have.
Yep, so the flyers will be downstairs. Oh, thank you. And your choice is lasagna or eggplant parmesan. The tickets are $25. Name, phone number, which one you want, and then if you've paid, that would be great. And then I have a second announcement. We discussed paying it forward. And so the second Sunday of every month, by the basket downstairs where we put in money for the meal, we are going to donate that money in that basket the second Sunday of every month to the food bank, to the Second Harvest Food Bank. So when that sign is down there, please give generously, okay, because that money will go to them. So thank you, that's all I have.
All right. Next one is Robert's meditation class today. He is starting his first of a series of meditation classes. And just a quick little thing, the intent is to provide various transmissions and instructions while keeping an eye on the goal, which is to awaken. So the door to our real nature is never closed, even though it may seem that way. By keeping an eye on our own bright, open condition, we will have some idea of what to expect as various realizations are discovered. So his meditation class is this afternoon after lunch, and it's called a mini retreat. And where are you going to be holding it, in the meditation room? We're going to have it right around here. We'll set up some chairs and some comfortable pillows if you need them. So this is where we'll have the meditation class. Okay, next, our speaker next week is Christy Marie. Everybody knows Christy, so we're looking forward to her, and her topic is Rise Up Singing. So please make sure you come and join us for that. Also, another item on the agenda is Course in Miracles. Debbie and Jean are looking forward to starting a Course in Miracles. She's got the book, so if you want to take a look at that, if you're interested, let them know they want to start a group for that as well. Are there any other announcements? Okay, then at this point, let us read our principles. They are on the white card on the opposite side from our song. So at this point, we believe God is the eternal source and creator of all and is present in everything. Our eternal soul, endowed with free will, grows through many lifetimes. Communication occurs between the physical and spiritual worlds. Prayer and meditation strengthen our connection to the divine. All healing comes from Source. Seeking this for ourselves and compassion for others' suffering is the highest priority. Because we are all one, what we do unto others, we do unto ourselves. The choice of love is always open for every soul. Living these principles helps us to believe in divine love. Okay, I'll get that right one day. Okay. Now, at this point, I'd like to have your attention drawn to our healing bowl. The healing bowl is filled with names. Some of them are written on paper, and some of them are deposited through our intentions. And these people need our help, assistance, prayer, love, and we are here to give that. So at this point, does anybody have any prayers they want to share that need attention? No? Come on, Jan. Welcome back, Jan.
Well, this is for myself and my family. I've been away for a year. And we're moving back to Duluth. And we would just like prayers to find the perfect house for our family, for my daughter, Kimberly, and my grandson, and myself at this period in time. And I would really appreciate your prayers to guide us to the right home for us. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. As most of you know, Janine Berkeley passed last month. It was the Saturday after Thanksgiving. She was finally relieved of that physical body. And we had the funeral yesterday, and I just wanted to express the appreciation for the announcement that was in our message, our church message that went out, but also for the people that were able to come and came with their loving thoughts, even though they might not have been there physically. So the reason I'm standing is to ask, for for the family. Janine is now released, but for the family. And that is her brother David and her 2 sons, Dane and Bjorn. Thanks.
Hi, everybody. We've often prayed for the Arculary family, and now another member of the family is needing our prayers. Her name is Riley, and she's the sister of Flip, who was on a cancer journey, and the daughter of Stephen, who lost his leg with diabetes. And so now we want to pray for Riley's heart. She's probably going to have heart surgery. She's the mom, beautiful little curl of hers, and let's pray for Riley Arculary today and their whole family, the whole Arculary family. Thank you.
Good morning. I just want to thank everyone for prayers. I had a small stroke about a month ago. I'm just a month out. And so as I'm learning my new brain, I just ask for continued prayers along my journey. Thank you.
I just want prayers said for my grandson, Dustin, who helped his older brother move to Tulsa this weekend and is insisting on driving back to Minnesota today, and he's going to be driving right through that horrible snowstorm and ice storm, and none of us could persuade him to wait. So just make sure that he has a safe passage back to Cloquet. Thank you.
Any other prayer requests? Well, as always, we want to pray for the entire planet, to make sure our planet lives for us and we live for the planet. And at this time, we are going to sing hymn number 74, In the Silence. It's in Wings of Song. And afterwards, we'll have a brief moment of silence, and then Drake will be our leader at that time. Namaste.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. My name is Drake, and it's such an opportunity. This idea of being a bridge and not a wall. Not just, the bricks that can build a wall, that can also build a bridge. But, oh, sorry. Okay, sorry about that. Thank you. So it's not just about the raw materials, but recognizing that you are the raw materials, that it's either a bridge or a wall. It's very interesting to me because I've been watching media my whole life, and I don't know if you all remember this. We recently had this pandemic, right? We're still going through it. But I want to suggest to you that pandemic is just part of the pandemic. The real pandemic is the pandemic of conflict and judgment. That's my perception anyway. It reminds me of these movies, and maybe you've seen them. Remember Night of the Living Dead? Yeah? That was like the first one of those zombie movies. And, I was interested. I'm 60 years old, so that was right in my time of being into these kinds of movies. And then all of a sudden, I began to see a proliferation of these movies. Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, The Walking Dead. There's all these movies about zombies. And it's not just about zombies, like there's all these things where a virus takes over, The Last of Us or 28 Days Later, but it's all this idea of being a zombie. And I find it interesting when these zombies occur. It's like, at one point they're part of us, and then they become them. And the thing about being a zombie is once you go zombie, you can never go back. Right? They never go back. And then these movies are all about how the heroes who are human are chopping and killing and destroying all the zombies. So we cheer all this violence. But it's really about us versus them. And so I really want to suggest that. It's very interesting to me because we want to understand this idea of fear masquerading as faith. There's so much fear masquerading as faith. And the more people invest in their fear, the more that gulf becomes so broad that you can't build a bridge. It reminds me of that joke. I love being 60 years old, by the way. This is the best. Because I think I was born to be 60. Okay? And I love this because, at this point, I get to tell the same jokes over and over and over again. And I love that. I love this idea that I think I'm funnier than everybody else thinks I am. So it's interesting because it reminds me of this story about the man who goes to another person and he says, "Can you give me directions?" And the person says to him, "Well, you can't get there from here." You can't get there from here. Where is that at that you can't get there from here? I want to suggest that this is a person who's building walls instead of bridges. We can get everywhere from where we are if we recognize the importance of focusing on solutions rather than impediments. So I just want to encourage you to be in that space. It's very similar to what we started off with. Light equals love and love equals light. Light equals love and love equals light. And love comes from the heart. So that tells us that light is shining from the heart. Can I ask you all just just to offer me a favor? I want to ask you on the count of three. Everyone on the count of three, I'm going to ask you to point to yourself. 1, 2, 3. Everyone, point to yourself. Okay? I see most people point here. I see one person pointing up here. Most people, when they point to themselves, they point right here. That's all over the world. And by the way, do you notice when people are saying things that are meaningful? I want to suggest to you that when you are listening to someone, that you're not just listening, you're also watching them. And when you're watching people, you notice how often when they're saying something, they gesture right here. That's because that light shines from the heart. It shines from inside out, not outside in. Light equals love and love equals light. And love is the heart. And I want to suggest to you that's where the bridge is. We have the bridge that comes to us through the heart. If you go through the heart, eventually you get to everyone. And I want to encourage you to recognize this. This is that idea of being the change that you want to see. Don't wait for it to happen outside of yourself. Start from inside and shine out. When you do that, you're building a bridge. And that bridge is an overwhelming, enthusiastic yes. I'm saying yes. I'm saying yes to this time. Man, I was born for this. and so were you. But we have to make sure that we're not coming from fear. We have to make sure that we're not having this idea that this is someone that we can't reach. I want to suggest that this is a time that we need to focus on healing rather than recrimination. Now, don't get me wrong. We all need to set limits at times. And maybe sometimes even with people who are close to us. I call it the circle of appropriate intent. You only want people in your circle who have an appropriate intent. And sometimes even people who are close to you do not have one. But that's not the same as drawing this wall within yourself. Even when you have someone that you need to move away from, you can still say yes to them. I want to suggest to you, as within, so be without. These walls that we have in our society right now, they're not just external. Once you commit to these walls, once you commit to the only way that you can find unity is through division, that division never stops. You can always keep dividing. When we see people who are at peace with each other because they're against someone else, they're really not at peace. And so I want to encourage you to find that internal peace that shines outward. Your life is one whole. When you talk about hating them, you're talking about hating part of your own life, which means you're talking about hating part of yourself. Everyone in your life is part of you, even the people you don't like the most. So I encourage you to be that bridge and recognize that in the process of being that bridge for everyone else, you are really being a bridge for yourself. So, I want to show you just a little bit about this. There's this idea, again, you are not your head. You are your heart. You're not your thoughts. And you're not even your emotions. All those things come and go. You are that internal sense of peace. And you get there through your body, not through your head. So I'm just going to ask you to activate some of this process with me right now. We can do it right now. I'm going to ask you just to begin to rub your hands vigorously. Well, it's cold outside. Create some heat. Create some heat. Now, right where you are, right where you're sitting, I'm going to ask you to have your forearms up, palms up, and bring the chest up high and press the elbows into the back of the chair that you're sitting on. Inhale, let it relax. Pay attention. It's changing you. We're going to do it again. Bring the chest up high, press the elbows into the back of the chair. Inhale, relaxing, breathing. Exhale, one more time. Bring the chest up high, press the elbows in the back of the chair. Now let it go and recognize the power of a yawn. I'm going to ask you to take a big, big, deep yawn. Take a big yawn. I find it interesting how many times after I do a yawn, I automatically do afterwards. Right? Sometimes a good yawn is like a good cry. Don't you know sometimes you need a good cry? And sometimes you need a yawn. And when you do that yawn, what you're also doing is you're releasing your jaws. I want to suggest to you that your jaws are telling you the truth. You may not know how stressed you are, but your jaws and shoulders do. So when you do a yawn, what you're doing is encouraging your jaws to relax. When you do that big stretch of the jaw muscles, you're encouraging your jaws to relax. You can relax your jaws and the hands at the very same time. When the jaws are clenched, the hands tend to make fists. So when you relax your jaws and your hands at the same time, you're creating a different relationship to the world. And by the way, while you were doing that, I want to encourage you to realize that you really weren't thinking very much. The power to not think very much is a superpower. Hey, I want to be in the Avengers. You know what the Avengers are? It's that superhero group. They all wear that, I don't know, it's called spandex. It's really super tight. Mine is not going to fit me the way that most of them fit each other. Right? I'm going to be kind of, But I want to encourage you to realize that my superpower is going to be sitting on the couch and being slightly optimistic. That's a superpower. That's a superpower. When you're slightly optimistic, I think things might work out. So that's this idea of being a bridge. When you're saying yes, being a bridge to your life is this enthusiastic yes for the life that you have. It's not a yes that if things are going the way that you want. We want to be aware of what the Buddha taught us. First, the Buddha taught us to have compassion. Compassion. And remember, you have to go from inside out. You can't start, it's like a mathematical equation. You can't start midway through the equation. You have to start at the very beginning. Having compassion is like that idea when the mass falls down in the plane, you're supposed to put it on yourself first. You have to start with compassion for yourself. Man, you've been through a lot. Every single one of us has. It's been a tough decade. But I want to encourage you to use your difficulties as your privilege, your test as your testimony. You know, I'm 60. I started doing meditation at 11 years old. You don't do that unless things are not going real good for you. But here I am now saying yes to my whole life, recognizing I couldn't be who I am or do what I'm doing. You know, people don't like to be forced. Isn't it true? I can see some rebels out here. I can see them. There's a whole bunch of rebels here. You don't like to be forced. You know, when your parents tried to force you to do things, right? I want to suggest to you that one person you don't like to be forced to do things by is yourself. Have you noticed how poor the track record is when you're making yourself do something? So when you're saying yes to wholeness, you're bringing your whole self into it. You're integrating the wholeness. When you are building a bridge to yourself, then you can build a bridge to the world. As within, so be without. So I want to encourage you to be this bridge, to recognize by calming and soothing your nervous system on a regular basis, every single day. Balance the inner and the outer world. When you feel a charge, and I'm not saying that there's not things that we can justifiably be upset about, but I want to encourage you that human beings are not the best at being justified. We tend to take things too far. So I'm encouraging you to find that relationship to calming and soothing your nervous system every day by having compassion for yourself. And recognize that the second element that Buddha described is being kind. It's so important to be kind. That kindness, you know, words are magical. Kindness. The root of kindness is kin, family. Have you noticed how people tend to be the meanest in their own families? Or the meanest to themselves? So second is kindness. Third is joy. We're not meant to survive this, we're meant to thrive in this. Even as we pass out of this world, don't get it twisted. That's part of your thriving. Change is part of thriving. So joy. You know, I want to ask, can someone tell me what is joy? Can anyone know? Can anyone tell us what's joy?
In my opinion, it's happiness for no reason at all.
Happiness for no reason at all. I love that one. Anyone else have any ideas of joy? What is joy? Yes. Bliss. Well, what is bliss? Joy. Okay. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. I love it. I'm going to accept that one. Yes. What is joy? Sparkle. Shining. I'm going to call it shining. Sparkle. I like sparkle better. I'm going to say sparkling. Okay. Any one more person have a sense of what joy is? Yes.
Feeling of contentment.
Contentment. And by the way, these words are powerful. Contentment, intent, content. It means to come from inside out. To be contented means to find peace within. Yes?
Feeling sad, but knowing you can get through it.
Feeling sad, but knowing you can get through it. I love it. So this is just me, you know, I'm very into healing circles. And one thing about circles is that there's no hierarchy. There's no boss in a circle. Everyone in the circle is equally important. We're all teachers and students in the circle. And so we all have things that we can teach each other. My perception of joy is deep meaning. When you feel a deep, deep sense of meaning. You know, I was at my aunt's passing a couple years ago, and I had tears streaming down my face. That was joy. Her son, my cousin, died 2 days ago. He was one of my earliest friends. He was my earliest friend. I feel so much grief, but grief does not inhibit joy. If you have a great relationship to joy, you find that that deep meaning is there. Another element of joy is recognizing progress. When you recognize your progress, you're building a bridge to yourself. And you can't build a bridge to the world unless you build a bridge to yourself. So progress and meaning. And so from my sense, joy is bigger than happiness, although I think that it's a form of happiness. But happiness, I think sometimes happiness is actually not that easy to kind of chase. So the final element that the Buddha suggested, he called it indifference. I amended to positive indifference. And by the way, I think you have to be willing, any of you who are cooks, don't you change your recipes according to your own taste sometimes? So even when we're studying these great teachers, people like the Buddha, I want to suggest that you may need to reframe it at times. He called it indifference. When someone is described as indifferent, that's not a compliment. I call it positive indifference. And what I'm saying, positive indifference is shining in every direction at once. I am is the ultimate affirmation. I am is affirming life. When you say I am, you are affirming your life. And that is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about being a bridge. When you affirm your life as it is and love your life as it is, you step into that pure quality of awareness. Awareness is the ultimate cosmic mirror. Awareness doesn't have someone come in front and say, oh, you don't look good enough for me. Awareness is the bridge. I am is the bridge. And when you step into that ultimate being, that ultimate sense of presence, you open yourself up to intuition. So compassion, every single day. Kindness. Kindness comes from compassion. Joy, which is that sparkle, that yes to what is. And positive indifference is that, it reminds me of that song. By the way, my favorite Beatles song came from my least favorite Beatle. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, singing songs of wisdom. Let it be. Let it be is the bridge. This idea, have you noticed how when people are in their political, spectrum, they want to tell you about it all the time? I'm like, dude, I know what you believe. You told me. Right? Why are they doing that? It's fear masquerading as faith. If you sign your name in the sand right at the edge of the ocean and you keep signing it all the time, you may convince yourself that it's going to be there forever, but as soon as you stop signing, very quickly it's going to be washed away. So this idea of being a bridge is accepting life as it is and recognizing in that acceptance you're accepting yourself as you are, your whole self. You're not trying to force yourself, you're encouraging yourself. And that makes all the difference in the world. So I encourage you to create a process, a lifelong process of growing to understand yourself better so that you develop the ability to recognize that you are not your emotions. You're not your thoughts, you're not your emotions. We have the ability to change our state. Our state is the emotional state you have in the background right now. In the background, part of you is concerned about the stuff you have going on. It's right now, it's back there. Sometimes you find the concern and you see it through the lens of depression or anxiety or worry or anger or irritability. My dream is to release the desire to be angry. So when you change your state, you get into your pure presence. Your pure presence is that radiant love. Every single person out here in this world, if they are focusing their differences, they're not going from inside out, they're going from outside in. So this relationship to being, this relationship to unconditional love, I suggest that you find a way of shifting your state and you do it on a regular basis. So shifting your state is doing something that's immersive. You may be concerned about what's going on in the world, but if you jump in the lake, I just want to tell you, you're not going to be worried about it for a moment. Right? So immersive practice shifts our state and allows us to be in that open space of love and encouragement and genius. So I want to share with you some ways of shifting your state. Walking. Going for a walk every day. If you go for a walk every day, you will shift your state. You will find that your anxiety begins to drop. Cooking can change your state. Singing changes your state. Singing songs that really speak to you. But even sometimes singing, by the way, singing is not just a mental thing, it's a very physical thing. It gets you into your body. Chanting changes your state. Breathing exercises change your state. Can I ask anyone here, what are things you do to relieve your stress? Anyone at all? Yes, sir. Go to the gym. Exercise changes your state. And I want to, recognize that exercise is a gift. And a gift works better if you understand your intent. If you're exercising from an egocentric place, trying to shape your body to be your egocentric sense of who you should be. But if you're going to the gym to invigorate and to work your body to its capacity, you change your state. Anyone else? Yes? Rocking changes your state. And by the way, that's an interesting element. Rocking changes, you're the first person I've ever heard say that. I've been doing this a long time. One of the things that happens in meditation is sometimes you'll find your body begin to do that, to do this rocking thing. Sometimes forward and backward a little bit, sometimes side to side. So rocking can change your state. Anyone else have any ways of changing? Yes, please. Yeah. Playing music, playing piano. So one of the things I want to encourage you to realize is changing your state is actually activating resilience. Is there anyone who doesn't want resilience? So you are magical, you are a magician, right? The Buddha supposedly said, and Jesus supposedly said, I wasn't there. At least I don't remember being there, but I might have been. They both said, you too can do what I have done, right? So really recognizing that you too can be in that ultimate state. And when you are the dreamer. You have the choice to change this from a dream to a nightmare, and all of us are waiting for you to do it. Okay? Any other ways of changing your state? Yes, please.
When I immerse myself into
Drawing. I'll come right to you. I had an amazing experience. Sometimes I'm hired to sit with people as they pass out of this world. And I was sitting with this woman. She was an artist. She was in her 90s. One of the things, I was in there with hospice with her for a long time, and she actually was there in hospice. Sometimes people stay in hospice for a while, and she was there for a long time. One of the things she told me, she was in her 90s, she said, Drake, if I was in my 70s, you'd be in trouble. Another thing she told me is, I feel like I'm 18 inside. Isn't that the truth? Time is instantaneous. Don't get it twisted. A moment ago you were 18. A moment from now you'll be 92 or passing out of this world. But what brings her to mind is, you said drawing. She was an artist, and she was like kind of propped back in bed with her knees up, and I put a pad of paper on her lap, and I put a pencil in her hand, and I just laid it. She was like unconscious, and when I put that pencil in her hand, she just started going. Her eyes were closed. She just started going. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. She drew a picture. That shows you how deep creativity is. Creativity is a way of releasing an internal expression that helps you understand the world, and when you're expressing from the heart, it makes a difference to other people. It's also a way of releasing nervous energy. So walking releases nervous energy, and creativity releases nervous energy. If you have too much nervous energy, you have anxiety. So releasing it through creativity, drawing, other types of creativity as well. Does anyone else have a state change they want to share before we move on? We have a couple people. Yes, go ahead, please.
Well, I'm a creature of habit, and the last month or so I've been my little routine Sunday morning, turn the computer on and get my tea going, my breakfast, and Zoom the service here. But today I've decided to get out, get dressed, and get going and motivated on a Sunday morning and come to church in person. And this has been transformational. It's a great service, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
Glad to be here in an actual physical, three-dimensional community.
I love it. I love it. I love it. The Sangha, the spiritual community, is a way of changing your state. It is of vital importance that you get connected to people. Now, don't get me wrong. Touch your edge without bursting through it. Your edge of limitation, we don't want to just act like it's not there. But your edge of limitation is also your path to confidence. When you're more confident, you build more bridges. So if you touch the edge of your limitation, One day you'll reach out to touch the edge, and all of a sudden it will be expanded, and all of a sudden you'll have more capacity. When you have more capacity, you have more confidence. So there are people right now on Zoom, they don't feel comfortable about coming in. But just showing up on Zoom, they're still having some relationship to community. And if they keep doing that, then maybe one day they feel like, I really want to come in. And so I want to thank you for coming in, because your presence makes a huge difference. People on Zoom make a difference, and people in the room make a difference. So thank you. We have another person. What you have to say?
I have a bunch of them that I use. Napping,
Napping.
because you know how you feel when you're done with a nap.
Yeah.
Drumming,
Drumming.
breathing from your belly, diaphragmatic
Yes.
breathing. Either telling jokes, listening jokes, or reading a comic strip.
I love it. I love it. All those are great. And by the way, drumming, when you do drumming, so, I want to encourage drumming as an amazing way to get out of your head. When you're drumming, you're not in your head. So what I want to say to you is your head is the way to get away from Bridges. So getting into your body, into your heart brings you closer to Bridges. It brings you closer to your intuition. And when you feel drumming, it's kind of like when you're in a place where you feel a lot of bass. You know where you feel it? Right here. So we have to keep coming back to the bodily location of the energetic heart and the hara, an inch below the navel, half an inch in. Those two spaces, and it's not just conceptual. Bring your attention to those two physical spaces. So drumming, napping, I love that. I've never heard napping before, but I love that one. Yep. All right. So, again, your choice is not about the future. It's about right now. Recognize the power of words, resilience. You're a magician. Let's just say for a second that you really saw yourself as a magician. So if you were a magician, you'd have to be careful with the words you say. Resilience. Resilience. What does that mean? Re means to do again. I want to encourage you, when you see that re, it really is an encouragement to discipline. Zilliance means to notice excellence that other people miss. To notice excellence other people miss. When you see beauty that someone else doesn't see, you become more resilient. When you actually see how beautiful the children are, not just irritated by them. Sometimes it's okay to be irritated. It kind of can get on your nerves sometimes. But to really see their beauty, you stimulate resilience. To see your own beauty is to stimulate resilience. So I just really want to encourage you to be aware of this. What you say matters. And the most important audience member when you speak is your own self. When we speak, we tend to exaggerate to make a point. Oh, I always felt like this. Did you really always feel like that? Remember that the main audience member of anything that you are saying is really your childhood self. Your childhood self is still part of you. It's instantaneous, right? So that childhood self, when you were 6 years old and suddenly became 45, that childhood self didn't evaporate. He or she is still with you, and they are listening to you very intently. They believe what you say about yourself. They believe that you are anxious. You're not anxious, you're experiencing anxiety. So these elements help to create that bridge. And I really want to encourage us right now. There's an urgency in the world to not step in to being reactive. Your choice is to be reactive or responsive. Being responsive is connected to the heart. Being reactive, it's all about that person or that individual. See, does that make sense? So let's do just a little bit more practice here right now together. If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to sing a little bit. Can we sing together? I wrote a song, and it's called Row, Row Your Boat. Oh, yeah, you've heard of it. Yeah, that was me. I wrote that. Okay, I didn't. I didn't really write it. But it's still a powerful song. And so I want to encourage you to use affirmations, positive statements, use mantras and mantrums, memorize prayers. Let's see if I have one right now. Lord, I know not what to ask of thee. Thou only knowest what I need. Thou lovest me better than I know how to love myself. Father, give to thy child that which he himself knows not how to ask. Smite or heal, depress me or raise me up. I adore all thy purposes without knowing them. I am silent. I offer myself up in a sacrifice. I yield myself to thee. I would have no desire than to accomplish thy prayer. Pray thyself in me, and allow me to be the prayer that you would have me be. That's an Islamic prayer. So, I got that from a book called The Perennial Philosophy by Aldous Huxley. So be in contact with these songs, these prayers. Row, row, row your boat is actually an ancient technology. So let's sing it together right quick, if you wouldn't mind. I want to do it 3 times 3. 3 times, then pause. 3 times, then pause, and then 3 times. So here we go. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Pause. And again. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Pause. Last ones. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Just breathe. Let's take a breath. Make the ah sound. Ah. Just feel it in that heart space. Row, row, row your boat. That's an action that you're taking. Gently down the stream. That's the stream of time in life. Merrily, 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 merrily. That's not something happening to you. Bless you. That's not something happening to you. That's something that you're doing. Joyfully, 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 joyfully. Life is but a dream. You have the choice whether this is a nightmare or a dream, my friend. I'm asking you to choose this as a dream. Because in a dream, you can fly. And in a dream, you can build bridges where there are walls. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, I'm so short. I feel really short. Yeah. Whoops, here we go. All right, perfect. All right. Well, do we have time for one more hymn? All right, what is it, number 222? Come on, Michael. And while Michael is singing, if I could get a couple of people to bring up the baskets, that'd be great.
Michael is the only song leader here. 222, correct?
Can I say one thing real quick before you start?
Certainly.
Just want to say one thing. Just one sec. Sorry about that. So someone just asked, what is a mantra? What is a mantra? So I am is a mantra. It's a single phrase that you say consistently. I am is the Mahamudra. It's the ultimate mantra. Think about how often you hear people say the phrase I am every day. So another way of describing mantras is what I call speed bumps. Speed bumps. So right when you feel some emotion that you don't like, activate a powerful mantra. I love my life. I love my life. I love my life. That is a mantra. No shame, no guilt, no judgment. No shame, no guilt, no judgment. No shame, no guilt, no judgment. That is a mantra. A mantram is a prayer. So if you memorize a prayer, you're helping to loosen those bonds that keep you held back. So I'm sorry to interrupt. Thank you.
My life begins to me to you. Would you play through it once? I remember this one. Okay. You ready? My life begins for me today. The words to be more high. The yesterdays have passed away. No more to cause a sigh. Before me lies the bright today, all blessings in its hold. And I rejoice to find life's ways and sing its joys untold. Today for me begins anew, a life that holds for me all that is good and real and true. Its blessings now I see. I look no longer to the past, nor wait for future days. For with today my lot is cast, its present joys I praise.
Do you have a benediction you'd like to say? Sorry, it's short.
No worries, no worries. So, again, intent. It's all about intent. I'm asking you to have that intent and to affirm it every single day. I love my life. And recognizing that your life as a whole, not just the part that you like, activate that positive indifference. Remember, when we find ourselves in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to us, saying songs of wisdom. Let it be exactly as it is. Thank you.
We'll have a little prayer over the offering, and then we'll get in our circle.
Okay. Feel the joy of life and love and peace that you are. Say, my life is good right now, today. Amen, amen, amen.
Let's join in our circle and sing our closing hymn. Let God be with you. And if you need it, the words are on the white card.